Good morning. A little bit chilly one here today. That's why I've got a pullover on. 60 degrees outside, as the taskbar says. Anywho, temperature is actually one of the things that I wanted to discuss. And I have came out recently and talked about similar topic or related topics. And sometimes, folks, people will have an agenda, whatever that agenda is. However, because of their commitment to that agenda, they mislead others, or they don't tell the whole story, or what have you. There are times that any time you talk about a subject, that you have to bring up other things that surround that, because if you don't, the people you are talking to, you are doing an injustice. In fact, sometimes can be downright dangerous. This is one of the reasons why I think the prepper channels need to stay clear of the news, because half of them don't have the experience, the wisdom, the nothing to draw back on, as far as what the government's done as an example, what people have done as an example, any number of things, because we live in a world today where everybody's a different expert by the day, depending on what the topic of the trend is, right? Absolutely insane world. So I want to talk, and I don't need to hide it. Bear Independent put out a Patreon post this morning. And, it's kind of goes along with the saying, throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Almost relates to that saying. So, his post, and I can't share it because it's Patreon content, but it talks about how we have had the warmest summer recorded since like 1940, I believe. And so I was aware of this prior to reading his content, because I had actually commented on the show before about it. Imagine that. But it's really important, and in fact it's imperative, that you note other information when you talk about these topics. Otherwise, you get people thinking that it's nothing but blue skies, rainbows, and unicorns. And it's not. And in fact, quite the opposite. Everything is not fine. Everything's not going to be fine. And yes, weather is one of the things that's going to be cracked out, as if it isn't already. Bear, do you believe the Bible, man? Do you say you believe the Bible? Do you? Do you? Because there's a book in the back of it that talks about something. No. Global warming / climate change isn't cows farting in the pastures. It isn't your grandma with the Aquanet in the 80s. No. None of that. It's a natural cycle that's happened many, many times before and will happen many, many, many times again. And we are nearing the end of our current cycle. Now, I'd urge anyone, and I will put the link to his channel down in the description. If you don't know who they are and you know who I am, get out from under the rock more often. Suspicious Observers, Ben Davison. I will link his channel down there in the description, the first comment. In fact, Bear has talked to him, right? As a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. By the way, for the record, the whole he can be trusted with little, can be trusted with much is the biggest line of bullshit that I had ever heard in my life. Because there's a lot of damn people that can be honest when it comes to small amounts. Not so much when it comes to large amounts. It's not the same. You gotta love that conditional scripture. I love it when you use scripture to control and manipulate instead of how to run your life. So even though it's not because of the cows parting, even though it's not because of grandma's Aquanet, it's still happening. We did, indeed, record the hottest summer in recorded history. There's no debating that. The oceans are considerably warmer. There's no debating that. I've talked about this stuff many, many times and in depth. Because what's the two things that I'm here to tell you all about? Wood gasification, because stop being retarded, and 2, pole shift. Those two things are the very reasons why I sit here today. So it's all fine and well to shield from the whole agenda going on by governments and corporations and other private individuals that are extremely evil. But to act like it's blue skies and rainbows and unicorns is not only negligent, it's flat out dangerous. I just put up 3 different videos, and if I can, I'll try to put them up there at whatever side. The first one, if it'll let me do all 3, the first one is titled Deer Prepping Channels You Haven't Even Scratched the Surface Yet. Reality. I put it up there. The next one that I did yesterday, Properly Triaging Preparedness and the Truth About Fate, Real Prepper Talk. Again, blink, blink, blink. And if I can't blink them up there, they'll be down there. I'll put them down there anyway, but I'll blink them up there too if I can. Whatever. And then yesterday, another video that I put out titled The Scripture and Preparedness, How the Bible is Timeless. Blink, blink, blink. Ain't that annoying? I know, it's totally annoying, ain't it? Anyway, they'll be blinked up there if I can. If not, they'll be blinked down there. So I think it's, like I say, extremely negligent and extremely dangerous just to, don't even put on your sunblock today, you're good, right? Because at Eagle, we can, nothing can be bigger than us. If they believed half of the bullshit they spew, they wouldn't be acting like they do. Just saying. Anyway, like I said, I'll link Suspicious Observers down in the description in the first comment, as well as the links to those 3 videos that I had mentioned. Do your research and do your own decision making on what you believe. But it seems like there's that book we can go back and reference to, that it happened not once, not twice, but 3 times in that book. User Manual for People, that book, 3 times. Noah's Ark, the crucifixion, right after the crucifixion, and then one to come yet in Revelation. Pole shift. So we can run around and we can debunk climate change all day long. But without including what's really going on, is negligent and dangerous. Shalom.